be able to pay our bills.
But then my face is gonna be attracted to you still at that point.
Whoa.
Just saying.
So just all the attraction goes out the window.
You don't know.
From a
I don't know.
haircut.
What if you come here with a bald head and look like somebody else?
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Woody and Amani Married at First Sight. Guys, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for a notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, and you already know what it is, baby, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. Let's get into it, baby. Alright. Let's get into it. I think with Woody and Amani, when it comes to this body language thing, they were amazing to watch. I think because when you compare them to everybody else, there is a clear distinction in terms of who likes each other and who doesn't like each other. I think when you see Woody and Amani, very first thing is when they enter, when Dr. Calvin enters, he goes, hey, then he says, hey, you know what I'm saying? And he sees both of them immediately at the door. Okay, that sets a tone and sets a precedence. That shows me uniformity, that shows me unification, that shows me oneness, okay? One in spirit, one in body, one in mind, do you understand? Then they go and sit down, and one thing that's really interesting is the body position of Amani straight away. Her body isn't leaning towards Dr. Calvin. Her body isn't even neutral. Her body is facing towards Woody. Where's Woody's body facing? It's open towards Dr. Calvin still, but it's also facing towards her. And so what you're seeing is this really intense connection between the two of them without them saying a word. If you walked in and saw them two, you would assume that they could be boyfriend and girlfriend. If you walked in and saw them, you'd assume that something could be happening, right? Whereas other couples, when you see them walk in, they could be friends. Like, yo, they're sitting on the couch like they could be friends or comfortable friends, you feel me? So when you watch Woody and Amani and you see the way that, you know, they are attuned away and the way that they're focused, the eye contact is what, you see, when I'm looking...
Don't do that eyebrow.
Yes.
Okay. People's relationship, I look at some of the eye contact because eye contact's a very big thing. Can I look at you and not feel disgusted? Can I look at you and feel intense love? Can I look at you and feel some type of emotion? What is it that you're looking at? And when you see their eyes, the way that especially Amani looks at Woody and Woody looks at Amani, I think she mentioned it some episodes back where she says, listen, look at me like you look at the food. You know what I'm saying? And they gave her that intense glare. And so you're seeing that intensity in their eyes because they're intense in their relationship. There is emotions, there is a love, I would say a festering love that's starting to begin, but there's intense feelings towards one another, and that's shown through the body language. Halfway through the conversation, Amani does shift back into a normal position where she is between two characters, and then she shifts back again when they start talking that it's me and you. And this is what I'm saying, that there's a difference between them and other people. Because when they're having a conversation, we are having a conversation, Dr. Calvin is looking in. Right? And so it wasn't you see, that's why I said that everyone else was having an argument because the way their body language was. They weren't having a conversation, they were arguing and disputing or at odds, right? Whereas you see with Woody and Amani, okay, we have a great connection. Alright, we're gonna continue this conversation. We don't feel no way if Dr. Calvin's here. It's me and you. Let's talk. Alright, cool, babe, what are you saying? All right, boom, 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 boom. And so you see that between the two of them. And then at a point, obviously, Amani breaks the wall and goes,
He needs to know I don't need your permission. Do you hear him?
I hear every word.
Calvin, do you hear that? Then she flips back in again and they start talking again about the issue. And so you see this great connection between the two of them. And again, you know, you see this kind of comfortability, which is so nice to see. You know, it's positive behavior. And I don't know if anyone noticed, he was wearing black and blue, she was black and blue, she was wearing black and blue, right? And so it reminded me of the early episodes when I said about they made the same faces when they were on the boat. Again, you're seeing that unification. It's the same thing with last episode when he said, obviously, whatever my wife said, that's what it is, right? And this is the kind of relationship I like to see because these are two, if they can stay on track, if they can just stay on track, then these two are going to be one of the most amazing couples that are going to come out of Married at First Sight. I was wrong. I would be wrong because in the beginning I was like, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure if Woody's really ready for this, blah, 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 blah. But if they have serious conversations consistently, they're going to be one of the best couples ever. Why? Because they're actually mirroring one another. They're becoming one another, right? And it requires Amani's submission. but it's also Woody's submission. You see, a lot of people talk about submission, but they don't understand it. Submission is born out of love. It's not born out of an iron fist. It's not born out of an ordering. It's born out of love. I surrender to you because I see you love me. And so I surrender to you because I know you're not going to hurt me. I surrender to your will because I know your love overcomes everything. This is why the Bible says that love overcomes, love conquers all, right? That God is love, right? And so God conquers everything. He overrides everything. That's why we submit to God, because we realize that love is so intense. When you meet a man who loves you as much as you're seeing with Woody, then you are going to surrender. When you meet a woman who loves you the way that Marnie loves you, as a man, you're not going to think about, I'm a man. You're going to think about, how do I serve you? Because the whole point about surrendering, the whole point about love is that it's about servitude. It's not about who can ride this wave, about who's champion. No, it's about servitude. How can I serve you best? How can I help you best? How can I do what you need for me to do best? And as I'm serving your needs, you're serving mine. And so what you're seeing with Woody and Amani is the mutual submission the Bible talks about in Ephesians 5. Yes, man and woman both are meant to submit. Why? Because out of that, that flourishes a real relationship. All right? Cool. So that was interesting to see that as well. I really believe that, obviously, just listening to them talk as well, because obviously they had an argument. And again, the argument, wasn't an open argument where she was facing Dr. Calvin. No. There's an argument between the two of them, which Dr. Calvin was peering into. And so the very first thing they were talking about was, obviously, Woody's reason why he loves Amani and thinks that she's attractive, right? It's her brutal honesty. And I think that's a key thing in any relationship. You've got to be able to be honest, right? Even me personally, I'm a soft person. I'm very sensitive to certain words. But I don't mind honesty. I really like honesty. I think honesty is good. I think you've got to be able to deliver it in the right way.
Was the attraction that made me want to be around you. I think the fact that you were completely brutally honest, that is what drew me. Because most times, from a woman's perspective, I don't think they
Some people don't know how to deliver honesty. Yeah, they think they're honest, and then they deliver it as if they're trying to sledgehammer your neck. Like, bro, I'm not here to be broken. I'm here to be a part of your relationship. Don't sledgehammer me. Present it in the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like food. You present it in the right way, people are willing to eat. You present it in a certain way, people are going to question, what am I going to eat here, right? Same way with honesty. Present it in the way that you want to be presented to, right? So I love that fact that they can be brutally honest with one another. And so it's funny because the conversation goes into a place where Woody talks about, because obviously Dr. Calvin, made a very good point here, which is that, sometimes attraction can override to a point where you forget to have good, decent conversation. Here's the thing. So we see that obviously now they get into a conversation about boundaries. And one of the boundaries for Woody is that there is, he doesn't want decisions to be made without him. But that's not what the original sentiment of an example was said. The example that was given was, obviously, if you go and cut all your hair off and you become bald, I don't like surprises, right? And that started, when that conversation started, because of the example, it looked like it was going towards dictatorship. Now, when I first heard it, I was like, sir? But then as we got to the bottom of it, I said, okay, I get it. Which is why I say to you guys, don't respond, before listening. Listen. Don't listen to respond, that was to say, right? Listen and try to deep what the person's saying, comprehend, and then respond out of the comprehension of what you've understood. The reason why people get into arguments that are deep and abrasive is because they weren't listening necessarily. They heard a part of it, didn't like it, and then from then onwards they switched off and attacked. Whereas if they sat down, listened to the whole thing, said, okay, and when you see listening, it's also going, okay, why did you say it like that? Because I wasn't sure.
Totally talk to you about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Bet.
But like, me.
I bet, that makes sense.
Me.
Look, I've learned a lot of things from my own missus as well. Like I said, we have arguments. I've learned, she always asks me to say, listen, during our conversations, are you asking me why? And I think it's one of the key things that I've said to myself, am I actually asking why? Do I know why you think like that? If I don't know why you think like that, I better shut my mouth. I better relax on my energy and ask, why are you behaving like this? So that I get the understanding of where it's coming from. So that now, because you see, arguments come out of a misunderstanding. When I don't understand you, I attack. When I understand you, I cover. Why? Because love covers a multitude of sins. Love is about trying to understand that individual. You feel me? And so here with Woody and Amani, as Woody's talking about the fact that, hey, look, if you're going to cut your hair bald, I'm not feeling that, right? We need to discuss this. And let me just make this point very clear. You know, a person's body is their sovereignty. Irrespective of whether they're in a relationship or not, it's still their sovereignty. Now the Bible does say, listen, your body is hers, her body is yours. Yes. So we are mutually submitting our bodies to one another.
I can cut my hair,
We together.
but I don't have to ask for permission. I gotta ask.
Doesn't mean you can do whatever you want though. That's not what the thing is saying. It's trying to let you know that we are in a kin. We are in one-to-one. You know what I'm saying? We are in a bond. But we should consider one another. The same way it says, obviously, a husband doesn't treat a wife badly because he wouldn't treat his body badly. You know what I mean? It's letting you know, trying to give you an understanding of how you should treat one another, mutual submission. But at the same time, there is a sovereignty of body. This body is my sovereignty. Listen, when we get to heaven, it's not going to be me and you. It's going to be me. Regardless of whether we're married or not, whether we're two have become one or not, it's not going to be me and you. God is going to be asking me, what did you do? And that's where it's very important. And so when you're seeing the relationship between the two of them, and she mentions that point, it's very key that she has to mention that point. That look, my hair, my sovereignty. Now I think what he was really trying to say, I'm going to probably impose a little bit. What I think he was really trying to say was that, listen, when you take that decision, when you take that decision, and I may not like the hairstyle, this is why the conversation needed to be broadened, and I don't like your hairstyle, I may not be attracted to you at that moment because the hairstyle is not doing it for me. Now let's be very honest. Have you seen something on your partner before, male and females, that you're not finding attractive, right? And you suggest, I'm not really about this particular thing, right? Or as a female, you might come to a man and say, listen, I'm thinking of a new hairstyle. What do you think of this hairstyle, right? A man then do it to you like, babe, I'm going to buy this shirt. What do you think about the shirt? Is it all right? Like, it's mutual submission, right? But the way it got presented, it seemed like a dictatorship. Like, if I don't like it, you're going to take it off. Now, when you present it like that, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, dictatorship. When you present it like, oh, if you have that hairstyle, I'm not going to be attracted to you no more, then
Be able to pay our bills.
But am I physically gonna be attracted to you still at that point?
Whoa.
Just saying.
So just all the attraction goes out the window.
You don't know.
From a
I don't know.
haircut.
What if you come here with
yeah, it's going to be that. And what should have been said was that, listen, I don't find it as attractive. Because, let's be honest, when he later, and this is why we know that it wasn't about dictatorship for Woody. The reason why we can say that is because later on, when he asked him, said, okay, what if she had alopecia and she was bald-headed? He said, no, that's not a problem. Because that's an illness. And so that means the mind is understanding that, no, my wife is sick. That's different from being the fact that he just took a decision. And so that's where we can see, that's where Dr. Calvin gets smart and says, oh, okay, I see it now. What is the problem here?
Yes.
Is the root of your issue the fact that she's making a decision without consulting
Yes,
you?
that is the root.
It's not about the hair. It's about the fact that she's taking a decision. What is it about that decision that you don't like? And then he, and what I think I loved about Woody doing with Amani, he did a very interesting thing here, body language wise. You know, as Amani was trying to understand his point about the fact that, look, my hair, my body, I can do what I want. You can't tell me that. You know, as he began to speak, and as he interrupted her and then said, listen, let me tell you why I feel the way I feel. That was important. That was quintessentially important to a conversation, to getting it where it needs to get it to.
And I'll tell you a reason why. Past relationship, long time ago, me and a girlfriend, we thought we wanted a kid. She took on the step to one.
Why? Because now he explains the why she can understand. What I tell you, the why gives a what? Understanding. So then what he does, he puts his hand on her thigh and then goes, babe, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. And then when he explains the why, she can have an understanding. Do you feel me? And then she can feel like, okay, you're not trying to dictate to me. Where dictatorship comes in is because people don't explain the why. No, they just tell you, you have to because I said so. That's an authoritarian. Like, that's not how it works. When someone generally is trying to care about you, they should explain the why. So that's why I'm saying as a parent, I can't just, if I was going to beat my children, I can't beat them and not tell them why. I can't go, oh, I beat you because you deserve it. Now I've got to say, listen, this is why you did it. X, Y, Z. You understand? But cool. So yeah, what was interesting, okay, so here obviously, you know, when he explains the story, he talks about fact, an abortion and kid. And I think this is very interesting as well. That
You know.
Are we talking abortion?
Yes.
Okay.
explain the story about the girlfriend that he had, have an abortion without considering him. So he always felt like he was never included. So he wants to feel like he's included in decisions being made, right? Again, he doesn't have the final say so on her hairstyle, but he can suggest. You are part of a relationship. You can suggest. You cannot dominate. You cannot tell and order. You can suggest. Babe, I think this hairstyle looks... I say to my miss all the time, babe, I think your hair looks good when it's short. She said, yeah, but I want to try something new. All right, cool. I can't tell you what to do. Like, I'm not your dog handler. You know what I'm saying? I'm your partner. So it's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell you what to do. I suggest. In a partnership, you don't order. You suggest. And so when he explains the story, then she goes, okay, I understand where you're coming from now, right? I can soften up now because now I know you're not trying to dictate me. What you're saying is you want to be included, you want to be considered. That's fine. You know what I mean? I want to be, because, and that's where when you're listening, when you're listening to listen for sake and get to a point, rather than listen to respond, you get to that place, right? You get to that place. And so what was interesting though is the fact that he used a story about an abortion, a child, and earlier on before that they spoke about he was shooting for a honeymoon kid. I really believe he wants to have a child. Why? I think the daddy not being there and wanting to be a better dad than his dad was, I think also it's something that's playing on his mind. And he's 30 as well. He's reached a good age. That may be on his mind as to why those two stories really came up.
Children?
I was shooting for a honeymoon, baby. I'm gonna be honest,
Look.
right?
He was.
I was shooting for a honeymoon, baby.
That's sweet.
Because surely he could have used another story he could have used up, but he intentionally used that story, not because he wanted to intentionally talk about babies, but I think subconsciously that came out because it was a good, viable story, but also the fact that I don't believe in coincidence when you say about a kid and then earlier on you said about a kid. Do you get me? I think the two represent a strong feeling of wanting a child, right? And he would have had that with the previous woman, but he didn't get the chance. So that was really interesting as well. And so, I really believe, again, that there's a boundary here, which is, the boundary here is that, listen, you can't just order someone, you must suggest. You can't control, you don't have no sovereignty over someone else's body. They have sovereignty over their own body. And you must understand that and work with that and appreciate that. So, yeah, guys, I mean, for us, obviously, I would just say, listen, I love Woody and Imani. I think they're great, and I'd love to see more from them as well going forward. So, guys, if you have a different view, let us know, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button down below. Let us know your particular thoughts as well. I appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. I only want to